KK Inc. has a 15 million face value bond issue outstanding. The issue carries a coupon rate of 10% with interest paid semi-annually. The issue matures in 6 years. What is the current market value of the bond issue if it is priced to provide a yield to maturity of 16%? Okay, so yes, colleagues, we need to remember specific terms about bond valuations, right? So when we say yield to maturity, this is your total return in percent form that you get from the bond based on what you paid for it, the current market price. Okay. Your total return based on the market price. So the price you paid for the bond. Remember, colleagues, bonds are also traded like shares. Okay. So prices can go up and prices can go down. Okay. So this yield to maturity and the price of a bond have got an inverse relationship. Okay. If the price of the bond goes up, the yield to maturity is going to go down. Okay. And if the price of the bond goes down, the yield to maturity is going to go up. Okay. And it is shown basically in this formula here. Okay. Because where there's R, it's our yield to maturity. This is the discount rate that we're going to use for discounting our payments for the bond. Okay. So yield to maturity, your total return based on the price of the bond. Okay. Yes. Are we okay with that definition of yield to maturity? Okay. Uh-huh. Investment analysis and portfolio management. Even financial markets and derivatives, we saw this last time. These courses they, they intercross each other. Yes. So when finding the value of a bond, the concept here is this: the value of a bond is the present value of all the money that's going to be paid out from the bond. Okay. For example, let me use this analogy here. You build a house and you want to value that house that you built. So you can forecast the rent that you'll be getting from that house. So if year one you get 100,000 kwacha in rent, year two 150,000 kwacha in rent, year three 170,000. All that rent that you're going to get in the future, you can convert it into today's value, and that will represent the value of your house. Similar with a bond. A bond pays interest payments and it pays you the maturity value when it matures. So those interest payments that you're going to receive in the future and the maturity value that you'll be paid, you convert them into today's value, and that is the value of the bond. I hope we are clear on that concept there. Okay. We're just getting the present value of the future interest payments from the bond and the maturity value, what will be paid when the bond matures. You get the present value of those payments, and that is the value of the bond. So since this bond interest is paid semi-annually, okay, so what happens is this formula here, okay, where there's R, you're going to divide it by the number of compoundings, which is N. Okay. When here, where there's R, divide by the number of compoundings. Okay. Yes. And then where there's time, okay, okay, you multiply it by, okay, so in this formula, let's do this. Here initially we'll put a T here because I don't want us to get confused. Okay. Where there is time, so here let me put yes. You're going to multiply it by the number of compoundings. Okay. Where there is time, you multiply it by the number of compoundings. Okay, colleagues? When they say interest is paid semi-annually, you're paid after 6 months, your first payment, then after another 6 months, you get paid. Okay. So when interest is paid semi-annually, this is how you adjust the formula for this, for the present value of the bond. Okay. So first thing we need to do here, we need to calculate our coupon payments. Okay. The interest payments, colleagues. These interest payments, since they are the same and they are the same amount paid over the same period of time, they are an annuity. That's why we're using this annuity factor to discount these interest payments, because they are paid over the same period and it's the same amount, so they are an annuity. This MV is the maturity value or the redemption value. Okay, it's usually the par value of the bond. Okay, yes, or the face value. Okay, yes. So first things first, we need to calculate our coupon payments. So coupon payments. Okay. So our interest rate also needs to be divided by 2, since the compoundings is semi-annually. Semi-annual compoundings means n number of compoundings is 2. So our interest rate, 10% is going to be halved. Let's say interest rate divided by n times our value. So want to get our interest payments or our coupon payments. Okay. So the interest rate is 10%. So it's a 10% divided by 2 multiplied by 15 million. So say 5% of 15 million. Mm, 1.5 is 15 million. 750,000 kwacha. Yeah. So in the first 6 months, you'll be paid 750,000. Then the next 6 months, you'll be paid another 750,000 kwacha. Okay. So now we've got our information here. Let us tabulate the value of this bond. So with the coupon payments, 750,000 kwacha. Yield to maturity, they told us is 16%. over 2, then here 16% over 2. Maturity value, which is usually also the face value, is 15 million. Yield to maturities. So never use the interest rate here or the coupon rate when you're doing this. The time this bond is says how many years to maturity? 6 years. So we're going to say -6 multiplied by the number of compoundings. Okay, can you put it here? -6 multiplied by the number of compoundings, which is 2. Here +6 multiplied by 2. Yes. So 16% divided by 2%, that is 8%. Here 8%. We'll change these percentages into decimals. 8%. Here on the top, -12, +12. Okay, we convert the percentage into decimals. 0.08. One plus 0.08, 1.08. Okay, so say 1.08 to the power -12. That is 0.39711. And on this side, 1.08 to the power 12, 2.518. One minus 0.39711. That gives us 0.60289. Okay, on the other side, 15 million divided by 2.518. We get 5,957,108.82. Okay, here 1 minus 0.6028. You get 0.3972. Okay. 0.3972 divided by 0.08, get 4.965. 4.965. 4.965 multiplied by 750,000. You get 3,723,750,000. 750,000. So this 3,723,750 plus 5,957,108. You get 9,680,000. 680,858. Okay. So this is how much the bond should go for. 9,680,858. Okay. You pay this amount and your yield to maturity, the total return you get until the bond matures will be 16%. Okay. And also remember, when you pay this 9,680,858 for 6 years, okay, you'll be paid each year. You'll be paid two times. Okay, your interest will be paid twice, 750, 750. Okay. Uh-huh. For 6 years, you'll be getting two interest payments each year. Okay. And when the bond matures, you get 15 million. Okay. This is how much will be paid when the bond matures. Any questions?